We've also got flats, which are pretty cool. And they're actually backed with ground cork. And it's neat because they actually don't make this, the adhesive is actually the cork sap itself. So they actually just under heat and pressure, they boil this stuff and then they squish it and it makes a panel. And they use that natural adhesive to actually flatten out cork that they've scarred the back of, and then they've steamed it and flattened it. So it's kind of an all natural, nothing harmful in here product.
Yep.
Then you can trim it to fit if you need to. We offer a bunch of different sizes, and then you can just silicone it right to your background.
Yeah. So that's in our background section. That size that you have holding up, that's a 12 by 12, I believe.
Yeah, that's a 12 by 12. One thing to keep in mind is, like most woods, cork will expand very slightly when it gets wet.
Yeah.
So when you do put it in your background, you don't want to wedge it in there really tightly, or else you might find yourself with less of a tank and more of several panes of glass.
Yep.
So give it a little gap, and you can even fill that little bit of gap with like sphagnum moss or even a little bit of silicone, something that'll allow it to expand and contract and stuff there.
Yeah.
Nice save.
And then you mentioned cutting it. What type of blade or how would you end up cutting it?
It's a little bit less important. Any good carpentry saw would be fine. It's not very fine as far as a cutter. I use a Zoom, or I just use a good Diablo blade on my table saw, but really any table saw blade, once again, the more teeth you have, the smoother the cut, the easier it'll be.
Yeah.
And you could argue the safer it'll be. Always use a push stick if you're using something like that. But yeah, a table saw works really well to kind of trim it down to size, even though the ones we sell should fit like a lot of like common size tanks to begin with.